I'm here on 10th Street in Washington, D.C., right in front of the house where Lincoln died, which in turn is across the street from Ford Theater. Both of these, of course, very highly visited tourist attractions in Washington, because this, after all, is where Lincoln was assassinated and where he lived his last hours. Unfortunately, there are no tourists allowed in these buildings now, as you can see from the signs behind me, because of the federal government shutdown. Not only is the shutdown having an impact on tourists here in Washington, but it's having an impact on American attitudes. And here at Gallup, we've been tracking the impact on some of the key attitudes, one of which is our question that we ask every month: what is the most important problem facing the country? A dramatic shift this month. It has been an economy-oriented issue every time we have asked this question since 2008. This month, October, for the first time since then, we have a non-economic mention as the top problem in the country, according to Americans, and that is dysfunctional government. A third, 33% of Americans spontaneously tell us that the top problem facing the country is their dissatisfaction with government and the way things are operating here in Washington, and that's overwhelming their mentions of the economy or jobs or health care, the deficit, or any of the other things that we usually see in response to this question. Interesting comparison: back at the previous shutdown, when we asked this same question in January of '96, Americans were still more likely to say it was the deficit than dysfunction to government, but now it appears Americans are worried about the process rather than being worried about the actual substantive issues involved. Congress approval is now at 11% in our new Gallup update. That's only 1 point from the lowest in history, which is 10%. So we've got a number of measures now confirming that during this partial shutdown, with the threat of a default on the debt limit in front of us, we've got a lot of Americans who are upset with the way that their elected representatives are doing their business here in the nation's capital. I'm Dr. Frank Newport, Gallup Editor-in-Chief.